Hey, it's Josh from Unit 6 and you're watching Live the Scene.
Really cool. You obviously toured with like a lot of big bands. Like what things have you learned from them? And if they do they try and offer you advice, or do you just like soak it up?
Newfound Glory gave me some advice. Chad from Newfound Glory said, was it Chad? It might have been Ian. I think it was Chad or Ian said. It was Ian. Said to me that like not everyone's gonna like your band, and you need to sit back and look at yourself and reevaluate yourself as often as possible, just to kind of reassure yourself that yeah, there may be people slating your band and that's going to happen, but if you're still headlining shows and you're still playing shows to, even if it's only 30 people, that's 30 people that still like your band. And for us, that's, you know, because there's a website, you know, there's lots of websites, but one website that often kind of we've kind of like decided to avoid it for now. We're like Punktastic, just like kids on there, just like I don't even care. Like they just chat so much shit, and it's just like
They just don't want you to be popular.
They don't like, that's fine. They don't like us. They don't want us to be popular. Fine, but like get over it.
The thing is,
like find a new band to hate because we couldn't give a shit.
Those type of people are like into bands because they're small bands and they're like, oh yeah, I've got this really cool new band that no one knows about. And it's like this cool thing on this internet website, and then as soon as the band gets big, like we were one of those cool bands once on Punktastic. Everyone loved our band, and then things started going the right direction for us, or what we'd consider the right direction, and now they just hate us. But
well, to you, it is a job, like you know. So you've got to. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't get told off for like making more money in another job, would you?
Because well, the thing is like, but actually before we say anything else, like, not everyone on Punktastic chats nasty stuff about us. There is like a handful of people that, and like they know who they are because I then follow their MySpace links and email them and thank them, so they know that's not even an issue. But like, you know, the thing is what people don't get is like, they call us dial support and stuff. So are you telling me that if somebody turned around to you and said, oh, you can tour the Audition, and then you can tour Newfound Glory, and you can tour with Angels and Airways, and you can tour with this band, like, are you going to sit back and say, no, it's alright, I think we'll let somebody else do that tour because we don't want to tour too much? Like, you live once, and opportunities probably come around once, twice if you're lucky, and that was our opinion on the Fall Out Boy date. Just like we knew that doing it was going to affect some people, and we knew it was going to annoy some people. But at the end of the day, like we were given the opportunity.
First we were sort of turning them down.
We turned it down like once, and then they came back again.
Can we really turn down a Fall Out Boy arena?
30,000 people in 3 days. Like,
so I interviewed like Tom and Jose and Marshall, and they all like they were basically saying like, "Are you kidding me? Like, of course do it." Like,
shame that they couldn't have been in the States, really. But
no, those guys. I just said in another interview that like we're going over for New Year's, aren't we? Probably to see.
Everyone sort of out.
Then you see cool guys having like a big party in their house in New Jersey in America, and they're just like, oh, you guys should really come. I was just like, we really should. Yeah. So we were right there. But yeah.
You're gonna arrange a few gigs around that time, or
I don't know, but I don't know what's gonna happen. Like if we ever tour those bands, like in the States, or if we can sort something. But like all I know is that they were a huge part of this UK tour, and like they seriously, like, collectively all three bands, we had probably the best 2 weeks that we've had ever on a tour with those guys. So you know, I couldn't say anything other than positive stuff about both bands. Like, awesome.
Like releasing your debut album, you chose like quite a small independent label. Did you obviously did have like good offers from bigger? What was the thinking behind? Was it obviously not
just because we wanted to stay independent?
Yeah. Did you want to
like
have the control?
For this album anyway? Like, one thing that we keep like reiterating is we don't want to completely write ourselves off for using majors in the future, because that's not the point we're making. The point is that for this first album we knew we could release it ourselves on our own label with our management, and we knew that it would be just successful if we did that as if we did it with a major label. The only difference being is that major label would want stuff from our merch, would want stuff from our live shows, would want this, that and the other, and we just thought we don't need them right now. Maybe in the future we'll look back at it and think, maybe on our next album we may think, maybe we should go for a major label because of this reason or that reason, right now we're comfortable doing things our own way, and we don't need it. Like,
I think the way major labels break bands as well is a lot different to sort of how we wanted to go about doing it. So we wanted to like keep as much control, like as much as it is out of our control how big we get, it's more in control, or more of our control than if we were with a major label.
I mean,
they'd be sticking you absolutely everywhere, and next thing you know you're on T4 and stuff like that.
Like
and
ring, like, you know, being like soundtrack to an advert or something. And it's like,
it's too early for that.
Song.
Like, maybe second album, once the band's like established, and you know.
Because of how the music industry's changed as well, you can do a lot more yourself these days.
Yeah,
and, like,
man.
You know, you all through MySpace is how you got.
Definitely.
What have like both been your personal highlights so far?
Wembley Arena was the
Wembley Arena was
shit,
good.
man, that was so
But
good.
headlining the Astoria,
Yeah.
like especially because like all of our family was there and everything like that, so
that
was cool.
That night was just like everyone was crying.
My dad cried.
I went up to my mum and dad afterwards, like up on the balcony, and they were just crying. I was like, "Why are you crying?" Like, oh, it was proud.
Yeah, it was very emotional.
Were you like the less like affected by it?
The thing is like it's just that whole night. The story sucks so bad, but it's just a blur. Like I can't even remember the feeling of being on stage. But we've got like 3 or 4 different people that filmed it, so like I'll be able to look at it in that way.
It's a surreal experience.
It was strange because it's like, hang on, it's like I've only ever gone and seen big bands, all my favourite bands play the Astoria, and the fact that we were playing there and we played a sold out show there was just like, what does that mean for our band? Does that mean that that's it, that's us peaking, or does that mean it's the first of many big things to come? I don't know, but all I know is that
there's quite a lot of sort of biggish bands that get to the Astoria size, and there's only a handful that then step it up.
Yeah.
So I think now is quite a tough time.
Now's a big time for us.
So the album's out, and I think this period between this album and the next album is going to be quite tough for us. We'll see.
You're obviously on the front cover of Kerrang as well. Like that must have been pretty.
That's cool.
How did you find out about that? And did you think they were like pulling your leg a bit, or?
I generally thought like our manager phoned us up. And he was
Karina
like,
called me, but I think Ben called all of you.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, guess he's on the front cover of Kerrang the week your album comes out." And I was like, I don't know, Kids in Glass Houses or something. And he was like, no, keep guessing. And I like generally didn't think that it was us. And I was really shocked that like, I don't know. I guess if you can headline the Astoria and your album's out, stuff like that. I suppose we kind of deserve to be on the front cover, but I don't know. Do we? I'm not sure.
Have you got it framed in your room or anything?
My dad's got like 10 million copies. I hadn't had a chance to like. That came out and we were on doing an in-store week, and then we went and played Paris, and no sooner we played Paris, we did press day in London, then we went off to Middlesbrough that night, and we've been on tour. So like, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna go into my local kind of, I don't know what you call it, picture shop boots. I don't know how they do it, and then just get it framed up.